I wasn't even alive when the Vince McMahon Hogan thing started, but I was alive when that happened, and I watched it live, and it was great. And now we're gonna get into the real nitty-gritty for WrestleMania 19. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock 3. Now, on every occasion, you might have a match that's so good because of who they are. They have it more than once at WrestleMania. Undertaker, Triple H. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Rock and Cena. But it doesn't happen a lot. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were so big when they were here. They were able to have 3 WrestleMania matches. And I know a lot of people say WrestleMania 17 was their greatest match, but I don't agree. I personally feel like WrestleMania 19 was their greatest match because for the first time, it wasn't about the title, which is something Jim Ross had mentioned. It wasn't, Vince McMahon wasn't involved, which I feel ruined WrestleMania 17. And it was just both of those guys trying to prove who were the absolute best. I love the storyline going in on, I never beat that bald-headed son of a at WrestleMania, and now I'm gonna do it. It was personal. It was personal, and stuff like that makes matches great. Going into it, and then you got to think about it. The Rock was a heel, and nobody's a better heel than The Rock. All right, this was around the same time where and I'll be sure to come back when the Lakers beat the Kings in May. All that was going on around this time. It was Austin's last match in wrestling. Think about that for a second. They were just going at it. And then The Rock hits that first rock bottom. Austin kicks out. And you're just like, wow. Whew. Like, okay. It's WrestleMania. People kick out of, finishing moves all the time. So Austin goes for the stunner. The Rock reverses it. This is one of the best spots I ever seen too in professional wrestling. Austin goes for the stunner, right? Let me try to paint the picture for you best I can. Oh, Austin's going for the stunner. Oh, it's reversed. Here comes another rock bottom in. Oh. Did I do good? Maybe? Probably didn't even get that. But yeah, Austin went for his stunner and The Rock reversed it. And then Austin went for a clothesline and The Rock put him in another rock bottom. And you're just thinking, it's over. 1, 2, and he kicked out. And I'm just like, no, Stone Cold. No. And everybody loses their marbles, man. And it's just like, wow. How? And then it was like, okay, The Rock is sitting over on the ropes, and he's just like, oh my God, I know what I got to do now. And this was one of the reasons why this match was so important to me. When The Rock set Austin up for that rock bottom, it's like you kind of felt like it was over. Now at the time, I was only 10 years old, so I didn't really know the severity of Austin's body at this time to where this was going to be his last match. But now that as I got older, I realized how important it was for Austin to go out swinging the way he did. And when The Rock had him and they stood there for a good 5 seconds, and then The Rock hey, they're friends. We would have had something to talk about after that, because The Rock slammed him really hard to where Austin had to grab his back. It was one of the realest wrestling moments in wrestling history, and The Rock won. And another reason why this match was so huge to me was the last segment when The Rock won. He stood over Austin, and he kept pushing the referee out of the way because they were having a moment where Austin was basically thanking The Rock for everything, and The Rock was saying, no, thank you. You're one of the greatest of all times. I love you. I'm gonna miss you, and until next time. It was unbelievable moments like that especially for a 10-year-old kid, and even at 23, you're just like, wow, what a moment. You know what I'm saying? And it was their last match. It was that was like an end of an era. It was equivalent to when all Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and Triple H, another match that almost made this list, WrestleMania 28. It was equivalent to that. You know, it just wasn't as profiled, of course, which in my opinion made it that much greater because it wasn't profiled, but yet we still got that moment. So, man, I just talked about that match like it was the only match on the list. I haven't even got to the main event, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. What more can you say about this match? I mean, you know, it's already two of the best wrestlers, not just in professional but amateur. Got a freaking gold medalist and a college guru in professional in amateur wrestling. And then, you know, they had this big rivalry going in. It was like these two guys were supposed to fight months ago, and you know, they finally got to where WrestleMania was the place. I mean, it was a lot of hype going into this match, man. And they put on an unbelievable match. It was like 6 minutes into it. No, it was a little further down the road, but this was one of the, let me backtrack. This was one of the moments where I actually respected technical wrestling and wasn't bored out of my mind. Like Kurt Angle would put Lesnar in a move, and it was like crippling, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, wow, this is good. And then as time went on, Kurt Angle was going for the ankle lock, and Brock Lesnar kicked him off, and he landed on his neck and broke it. And at the time, like I said, we don't even know. But yet Kurt Angle is still going, and it's like suplex. This was like the first stage of Suplex City, when they was just going at it, and Lesnar laid the F5 on Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle kicked out with a broken freaking neck, you know. And then he hit him again with the F5, and then the biggest botch in the history of professional wrestling. Okay, let's go back. You remember Clash of Champions when Cesaro landed on his head? You remember the Raw 2004 with Lita when she, you know, died? Lesnar shouldn't be, there shouldn't be a Suplex City. Okay, that moment when he tried to do a shooting star press and landed on his head, there shouldn't have been no dominating the Cena. There shouldn't have been no second round of the Lesnar beast mode. The streak should still be alive, doggone it, because Lesnar should have died. And this is one of those things where you have to give your hat off to professional wrestlers, because even in moments like that, they still find a way to finish the match. And that's exactly what Brock Lesnar did. And he won. The two had one of the best moments I ever seen in wrestling, when they both shook each other's hands and they hugged each other. And then they went off and didn't wrestle for a good amount of time after that, because that match was brutal. And that's why WrestleMania 19 had to be on this list as greatest matches, because there was no way I could put any of those one matches on this list and not talk about all, what was it, 8 or 9? It was, and I didn't even mention the pre-show match where it was RVD and Kane versus the Dudley Boys. No. It was RVD versus Kane. It was RVD Kane versus, I think, Christian and Lance Storm, if I'm not mistaken. And the Dudley Boys interfered. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was when Sunday Night Heat was still going. Exactly.